Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Trogdor, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we have another Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon Wi-Fi battle as part of the UPBA. We are in week 6 of the UPBA, which is the, if I'm not mistaken, halfway point of the entire season. We're not doing so hot. We had a really rough first half of the season. Regardless of the outcome of this battle, I'm going to consider our first half of this season really rough. So it's like in the UPBA, the unquestionably perfect Battlers Alliance, we want to do like really well. But, you know, we're kind of just like, oh, what happened in the first half of the season? Again, regardless of the outcome in this game, we're going to be like either 1-5 or 2-4, which is still kind of Anyway, we're just here to have fun, right? And that's what we're going to do this battle. My opponent is JB Westside and the Arkansas Razorwinds. His team is really stacked. You'll see my breakdown of it in the team builder. Basically, he's got Coco, Lucha, Latios, and a bunch of bulk. And right here we see the team that he brought. He brought the Arcanine, not surprised at all, because I've got Mega Mawile, which otherwise runs through his team. He's got the Coco Lucha, which, if you draft Coco Lucha, it's just so easy to build a team around that and just make it win. He's also got Swampert, which I wasn't super expecting. I definitely thought I'd see the likes of the, what do you call it, the Snorlax he had, and what else did I think he would have brought? Anyway, he also has the Mega Absol, no surprise, and the Cryogonal. So my original plan going into this was lead Dragonite and Wreck Shop. Like lead Dragonite, I've got my multi-scale, I can set up, and I've got something that can hit everything. But the Cryogonal's there. If it's scarfed with like Freeze Dry or Ice Beam, it can always outspeed Dragonite at +1, which is just kind of like annoying for me. And I honestly don't remember if I got Ice Shard, but the way that I played this battle, I thought it did. So seeing it there, I was like, okay, I'll let Dragonite wreck house after that thing is gone, if I can get it gone. So I decided instead to lead my Mega Mawile because, you know, given his team, it's like I'm looking at it and it's like, okay, Arcanine, I kind of built my Mawile set to like bamboozle you a little bit, and then going down the line it's like, oh, and then you die and you die and you die. Something is gonna take a ton of damage even if he does switch into Arcanine. So we're gonna lead my Mega Mawile because I'm also half expecting him to lead something that can take care of the Dragonite. Like I in my head I was like, oh, he might lead Cryo to either like get a rapid spin on me, or because I've got some good rockers and Golurk and my Mawile, but I'm not bringing rocks. So let's get into the battle, see what my opponent leads. If he doesn't lead Cryogonal, I'm going to kick myself a little bit in not leading Dragonite, but you know, it could be a Scarf set to beat it if it doesn't get Ice Shard, which I honestly don't remember. So good luck to my opponent, of course, and more importantly, have fun. So my opponent here leads Hawlucha, which is actually pretty great because as I lead my Mawile, I'm going to get that Intimidate on the Mawile. So it's not going to be doing a ton of damage. I'm actually going to right here, no, pause on this video. Right here, I'm going to go for a big Stone Edge because looking at my opponent's team, there aren't a whole lot of drawbacks to me going for that move, aside from it potentially missing. I think Arcanine is almost like 100% his switch in right here, so I'm going to go for a big Stone Edge. It hits a Hawlucha decently, but Hawlucha can't hit me hard very back in when it's intimidated and without his SD or whatever. What else? And if he doesn't go into the Arcanine right here, this shows him that it's like, Arcanine is not a safe switch into Mawile. So I want him to know that, like, if he ends up switching it to something else. So I don't see a lot of drawbacks in going for that move right here. So yeah, I'm going to Mega Evolve after I got the Intimidate. So now I'm going to get my huge power. It is huge. As he is going to go for a U-turn. That damage is laughable. Like, ha ha ha. I'm laughing with all three of my mouths at how little damage that did. So surprised to not see Arcanine come in here, but instead it's Tapu Koko. as the electric surge goes up. And I'm just going to fire off a big Stone Edge. This is going to do a ton of damage, even though it's not like super effective. So yeah, that Coco is like really low, which is great because I'm kind of good at... I've got to switch into Coco that can deal with it. He actually switches into the Arcanine right here. I don't know if he was expecting me to go for another edge, but I actually made a switch into my Golurk, expecting to get this in on the Tapu Koko. This is actually great because Arcanine didn't intimidate my Golurk, and my Stone Edge is doing a huge amount of damage to the Arcanine right here. Not going to miss because of No Guard, which is fantastic. And like my turn 1, I don't see a lot of drawbacks for going to the Stone Edge right here, especially because Earthquake looks super obvious right here. Like Golurk, one of the things that it does well is spam EQ, which I don't have. My opponent doesn't know that. His switch-ins to the EQ are the Hawlucha and the Cryogonal. Either one of those takes a massive amount of damage from a Stone Edge and probably can't take another hit from my Golurk. So, and also I hit the Arcanine, which is right in front of me. Coco's enraged to die to anything. Swampert's probably the best tank, but I don't know how well it does versus my Golurk anyway. So again, I don't see any drawbacks from going for that move, especially because he's probably thinking that I'm going for an EQ. So look who comes in. It's Cryogonal. Wow. That is just gone. So you probably expecting my EQ, but Cryogonal goes down, which this is actually great. So now that happened, all I have to do is wait for an opportunity to get Dragonite in and set up and clean house. It's kind of amazing, really. So Swampert comes in. I'm going to expect this to go for rocks or something, so I'm just going to fire off a big Dynamic Punch. He actually goes for the EQ, which is fine. I can probably tank this, but not very well. But I'm going to go for a big Dynamic Punch here. It's not doing a ton of damage. That's definitely a more... I don't know what its spread is, but it's confused now, which is... I don't know if he's going to switch right here, but yeah, he does. So that gives me the upper hand right here, and thank you VLC for glitching out so much. That's really what I need right now. But yeah, my switch to the Swampert either way was Vaporeon, which is actually great because it would also have been my switch into the Arcanine as the electric terrain disappears, but that doesn't really matter. I'm going to go for a Scald right here as he goes for the Toxic, which, you know, surprise, surprise. Just if you want to beat my Vaporeon, go for Toxic on me. So I'm going to just Scald that right here. It's going to do a nice, pretty chunk of damage. So even if he wants to start spamming Morning Sun, he'll very slowly be getting health... he'll very slowly be getting whittled down even after the Leftovers recovery. However, given that I am Toxic, it's not going to be a winning battle for me in the long run unless I want to stall him out of Morning Sun, which I don't want to do that. But I do start firing off the Scalds. He does switch before we get into that really dumb stall war. But toxic damage is going to start racking up. And I don't know if it's here yet that I make a big boy play, but he switches out either way into the Tapu Koko. I forget if I just went for a Wish right here or what, but at some point versus the Swampert, I'm going to have to make a big boy play. So I switch out Vaporeon. And yeah, right here is where I made my big boy play. So I was expecting the Swampert to go for not an ice move. Probably like an EQ versus my Vaporeon. It obviously wouldn't be going for a Scald versus my Vaporeon because of what's its ability that I completely forgot that Volcanion had. Water immunity. So I was half expecting rocks right there too. And if he got up rocks, me being the very smart player that I am did not bring any removal, which would have really hurt Dragonite. So I need to get it in before any rocks go up. So I figured that was the best opportunity for me, but he ended up switching. So either way, I get Dragonite in at full health. And right here, his Tapu Koko it's obviously faster than me. Probably has like Dazzling Gleam or could even have HP Ice. I don't know. But either way, I am going to Dragon Dance right here because it has the potential to... well, I can't die from it, but then he switches either way and goes into the Arcanine. the Intimidate's going to go off, which is kind of unfortunate, but I'm going to get back up to neutral with my Dragon Dance right here and be at +1 speed. So I did the calculations, and Earthquake is not a guaranteed kill on the Arcanine right here, and I didn't want to risk that because he could go for the Morning Sun. He could go for the, I don't know if it's dual status with the Will-O-Wisp and Toxic, but any status would be really, really bad on my Dragonite. He could go for the damage move just to break my multi-scale, like, you know, do an epic sacrifice with Arcanine to break my multi-scale. But either way, I see my best play as going for another Dragon Dance after this. Because, especially after the Leftovers recovery, it's like 48 to 53% damage I'm doing right here. So I'm going to go for another D-Dance. At this point, I wouldn't really mind if I get Toxic, which I know he has. He probably doesn't have the dual status. So I think this is my best play. But he reveals to have the Roar. So I go into Vaporeon, which is a great switch for me. But that Roar is really unfortunate, which means, you know, I can't freely set up. I am, however, still at full health, not status, no hazards on the field. So I can, you know, get Dragonite in at a later date. That's my game plan to win at this point, and it's actually looking kind of decent for me. However, this Arcanine it's just kind of being a, I would never say a bad dog, but it's being annoying. Shout out to that nickname, though. Like, I've got all of my nicknames, like, related to Song of Ice and Fire, so Call Doggo is just kind of a nice one. So I'm gonna go for a Scald here as he gets back all the way up to full with the Morning Sun, but my Scald is doing more than 50% each turn, and I have way more Scalds than he has Morning Suns, so it's overall a winning battle for me, especially that one did closer to 60%. So, and especially, like, unless he gets all the way back up to full, by the time Vaporeon's done being toxic to death, then Mawile would be able to kill with the Stone Edge, or heck, even the, I have Brick Break on it. But I'm going to get out of here, go back into Dragonite, because I figure, like, you know, he's going to go for the Morning Sun again right here, and I just need Dragonite in, because I don't want the toxic damage on Vaporeon to rack up super much. So I think this, I know he has Roar, so I'm not going to go for the Dragon Dance. I'm just going to go for, I believe, the EQ right here, as I think this is the turn that he goes for the Toxic, right? So Dragonite's Poison, multi-scale is gone. It's not safe for me to Dragon Dance at this point, which I kind of see now how that play was just kind of like a little bit of a stumble on my part. But I'm still in a position where, well, Arcanine is super, super low, which makes it everything better for Mawile. Absol is faster than me, Tapu Koko is faster than me, Swampert's still pretty bulky, Hawlucha is faster than me, so this is just kind of like, well, it doesn't seem like the cards are on the table for me to get things going properly with Dragonite, so I'm just going to go for damage. But right here, I thought really long and hard about this play, because his immunity to EQ is Hawlucha. Arcanine would die to an EQ right here. He definitely doesn't want to switch into Tapu Koko. I believe Swampert is low enough that it doesn't want to take 2 hits. Absol is super frail. So I thought for a minute, it looked like Hawlucha was a likely play right here. So I thought my Z Dragon move, my Dragon Ball Z move, my Draconium Z Devastating Drake, whatever it's called, would be a kill on Hawlucha. And it would also be a kill on Arcanine. So I thought, do I want to press the button right now and just go for big damage? And I thought long and hard about it. I was super close to clicking the button, but in the end I decided, like, you know what, I should just make the safer play and go for the EQ right here. However, he does withdraw. Could it be to Swampert? Could it be to Koko? No, it's into Lucho. So no damage is going to be done right here. So I really should have clicked the button right there, but I believe it's I forget. Okay, he goes for the U-turn right here, which makes me think he's probably not carrying the Ice Punch. I think I said in my team builder that it's probably like Dual Stab, SD, and Roost, but one of those moves now is gone for the U-turn. So he would have to be like only, I forget what anyway, after like seeing the U-turn, I was like, okay, maybe he doesn't even have Ice Punch at all. So this is the turn that I clicked the button. I clicked my Dragon Ball Z. So whatever has come, unless Coco comes in, I was saying like, oh my god, Coco, please don't come in. But Swampert comes in, and I'm like, oh cool, I get the KO right here. So big damage coming through as, you know, the animation plays, and you can just like check out that glory and stuff. But Dragonite is actually doing some decent amount of damage for me this game. Like, not just dying to some random attack. Instead, it's doing more work than Salamence would ever do. So Swampert goes down right here. And given that the toxic damage is starting to rack up, I'm thinking, like, you know what? Dragonite's probably done. Especially when he brings in Coco, I figure, like, yeah, he's probably just going to go for the T-Bolt or the Dazzling Gleam just to get rid of my Dragonite and stuff. So I figure, why not just go for the EQ unless he, like, does something like this, like go for the Roost. So that play was a little bit more complicated than I made it seem to be, but from my point of view, like, it was kind of like a 50-50. Like, if I had switched out, I didn't want to get, like, Thunderbolted or have Coco at more health. But yeah, Tapu Koko goes down, because in my mind, I was like, yeah, Dragonite, given that even if I get a Wish into it, like, I'm still toxic and stuff, I don't have Heal Bell. But either way, Coco goes down, which is pretty great for me now, because right now, I'm actually sitting kind of pretty at 6-3. Cryogonal's down, Swampert's down, and Coco's down, so it's just Arcanine, Absol, and Lucha. Porygon 2 has yet to hit the field. Golurk is low, so it basically dies to anything. Vaporeon is toxic, but it can still tank a few hits, and Raikou is yet to hit the field. If Hawlucha comes in right here, I'm 100% switching into my Raikou to get my Electric Seed boost, while he gets his Electric Seed boost, and then he'll outspeed no matter what, either SD as I go for the T-Bolt, or I think the only move that can, like, really hit me is High Jump Kick if he has that. So it all depends on what his last moves are. So yeah, right here, I don't actually see the Electric Seed go off, so it makes me wonder, like, what item actually was he? Because, you know, Unburden's not there. It doesn't matter, it outspeeds my Raikou anyway. I think it outspeeds my Raikou. But my Electric Seed goes off as I grab the defense boost, which makes it much easier for me to deal with this Lucha, as this Drain Punch now will do less than half. So even if Acrobatics was at the proper amount of, what do you call it? Even if Acrobatics was no item boosted, wouldn't have killed me. So I just go for a T-Bolt right here. Would have taken out the Lucha, but he switches into the Arcanine as that goes down. So the coast is clear for Mawile now, which is kind of crazy to think about, because I still haven't had anything been KO'd. I'm sitting at 6-2, and I have a mostly full health Mega Mawile. It's actually looking really good to me, and it's starting to hit me like I might actually win. If I don't make an oopsie, I might actually win. So I'm going to go for T-Bolt right here. He reveals to have High Jump Kick, which that'll definitely take me out. But it's good to know that he has that instead of probably Fire Punch. So I can send out Mega Mawile. I can tank any move that he goes for and hit him with the Play Rough. He goes for the High Jump Kick and actually misses, which I'm sorry about that. That kind of sucks. So there's like, yeah, it's going down no matter what. So I am a full health Mega Mawile versus his last mon is Mega Absol, and I can tank any hit from Mega Absol unless it's running Fire Blast, which it does run that pretty often. Fire Blast doesn't actually KO me. I would 100% be in range of a Fire Blast if the High Jump Kick connected, but even then, I still have my full health Porygon 2, which deals with the Mega Absol better than anything else on my team. So I would have just gone for an Analytic boosted Tri-Attack and donked that. So either way, it's looking really pretty for me. Unless in the event that Fire Blast number 1 connects and gets a burn, or connects and gets a crit, I will take out this Absol, because I made 100% sure that Brick Break would be a KO right here. So you know, I don't want to lose because I miss a play rough or anything like that. So I'm going to go for the safe play that I know will be effective. He is going to Mega Evolve, and like I said, if he has Fire Blast, if that connects, if it gets a crit or a burn, that's the only way that Absol would be able to take me out here. Does in fact have the Fire Blast. It connects. I don't die, no crit, no burn, so Brick Break is going to seal me the game. So I actually pull out a win right here, which is pretty incredible. So good game to my opponent. I know there are a lot of like really strange plays that I made, especially like staying with Dragonite on the Coco, going for the Stone Edge with Golurk, but again, you know, I didn't have EQ. I figured that was the overall better play for me. I did kind of play Dragonite a little bit recklessly, but it ended up punching enough holes that Mawile and Raikou were able to just clean house. But either way, yeah, the MVP was definitely, I want to say Dragonite right here, even though Mawile just kind of cleaned up the team, but everyone played its part, so yeah, happy about that. My opponent definitely played well, but again, my plays are just a little bit weird. And before I get out of here, I did forget to give a shout out at the beginning of the video. Shout out to Zombie who gen my team this time. Or wait, was it Mid who gen my team? Oh my god. No, Mid gen my team. No. Okay, Zombie, stop listening. Yeah. Shout out to Mid for genning my team. He's been a champion and doing that. And shout out once again to Lantern Joe for recording this battle, who has been an absolute beast in helping out everyone in this league. So yeah, that concludes my battle. I am now sitting decently at 2-4. I'm still bottom half of the league, but there are other people who have lower records than I do, but still some people I believe who are undefeated. So we've still got to claw our way back up to the top, but it's not out of the question now, so we just got to keep doing some spicy prep in the future. So yeah, that's all I've got for today. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you are new and want to check out future battles from this league and other leagues that I'm in. I'm doing the PTL as well. And comment down below if you got anything else to say. Otherwise, I'm all done for this time, and I'll see everyone in the next video. Take care now. Bye-bye.